When one analyzes America from a militant perspective, one must ask themselves, what is the white man so afraid of that he must control martial arts, make sure his people are disproportionately armed, even though they're the majority, and to control politics in the black community so thoroughly that they initiate black people into secret societies to do it? What are they so afraid of? Well, we'll explore that in this video. Oh wait, before I continue, don't forget the white man takes the best of everything while he's talking shit about you. That includes your women. I wonder how many gorgeous women right now are having sex with some greasy piece of shit because their cultural imperialistic elite have done things in a way they confuse people about everything and make the white man look good and the top martial artist and people who are respectable like him look bad. America has a long history of using white hate groups to keep blacks down. Now, this history obviously predates this country, and white hate groups are nothing more than the more radical elements of other white organizations that branch off in order to keep from bringing down the whole white power structure into cells. The white man fears the lone wolf tactic because he prefers the lone cell tactic. At least he did until Trump's election campaign, perhaps, when they started teaming up together and making it 100% clear that they have been working together to a certain extent at some point. How much, when, where, why, how, to what degree, at what point? These are all questions you all should have asked yourselves a long time ago. Martial arts are important to these hate groups. They use psychology, schools, institutions, gun control, and what states have gun control and what don't, which states don't, and who has the legal guns and who doesn't, and the trajectory of technology. This global white power structure. These people who see themselves as white revolutionaries, secret societies, whatever societies they may be, that are registered and well known. They value martial arts because of their image, their individual image, their country's image, their clan in some instances, their families, their races, their business, their reputation. Going back to the money, the reputation of their dojo. There's women, right? As it says in the book, when you read the introduction, on page 11, the admiration of potential wives. What it means to be a transcendent hero, honor, and the different definitions in different cultures and individuals. The eagle claw tactics of Kung Fu, the American eagle and Eurasia, versus the hawk, the African hawk, the black African hawk that was proven clearly to be an African empire not too long ago, not too many years ago. But some of us already knew that. And that goes back to the controversy, the tradition, the ceremonies. Now, I'm not racist, there's many things that Europeans have done that are admirable. But manifest destiny, neocolonialism, these things are shameful. And there are very bad people involved in these things. And obviously, I'm not saying all Europeans are bad. And yes, there are some white people that claim to be Jews, and there are some white Jews who aren't Jews. And it really depends on your definition. If you're talking about racially, yes, some white-skinned people are racially Jewish. Some are converts, and there's bad people from both categories that are working together, and they're Zionists, and they abuse people when no one is looking, their minions at least, and they plot to hurt a lot of people. So a long time ago, Ra, the sun, the light of the sun, the spirit of the sun, more specifically, created man, the Spirit of God, as it says in the Bible. And some people, they stayed in their own place, to each his own. And then there were the sea people who had compasses. And they also had landmarks. And when they saw the pyramids from the sea, it reminded them to stay away. And so they came after they saw the pyramids. It reminded them more and more, until one day they devised a plan, a long-term plan to conquer Egypt. And eventually Egypt fell, and the foreign period began. And after these foreign occupiers, who weren't the first to arrive, mind you, began to occupy the world, they wanted to make themselves look good, more than just put wigs on. They wanted the locals to revere them, so they had them teach them their local arts, and they made secret societies. And some of these martial arts societies existed for the purpose of elevating to the white man to the position that he has no business in being. And a lot of these societies were non-black, but some of them were black. And so the Jews and the whites parade around the entertainment business and pretend that they're the best with Krav Maga, American karate, American taekwondo, and so on. Give it enough time, you might even have an American capoeira. But then again, they want to kind of shift the focus away from what capoeira is really about and the culture around it. So, to get to the 10, one had to eat the 9, the controlled opposition. And that includes understanding about psych meds, propaganda, what some of their motivations might be, who some of their players are, though it's not as important when you're studying it to begin with as what they're doing. Because a lot of people get distracted by who the players are. For example, how many people understand who the Rothschilds are and they get the gist of what they're doing, from a high level view, more or less. And how many people really analyze this thing with no ulterior motives, with a clear mind and say, this is what's actually going on. And how successful are those people that do that? How many of them are successful, What is actually going on, I would describe it as Eurasian, secret society plot to maintain control over the world. And as they bring in more and more control, They give themselves public relations makeovers, PR lifts. You know, and that goes back to why they deny me my rightful place. Some of you might sit there and say, well, why you? You know, you live in the middle of nowhere, this, that, and the other thing. This is the most populated state. Hollywood is in this state. The Bohemian Grove is in this state. MK Ultra, COINTELPRO, the main places they took place was in this state. The Code of Silence, you know, the documentary was about the institutions, the correctional facilities in the state. And there's a thin line between a prison and a jail and a mental hospital when it comes to what they're trying to do. They're trying to program you into being a certain way, into behaving a certain way, so they can place you in a certain place in Babylon's system. So who's the most responsible for this? The way it is, the evidence does seem to suggest the Jews, but certainly there's a white power structure at play here, as well as powerful Asian financiers. And I really think it's sad the way the left and the right seem to work together in collusion to keep the black man down. You know, I think that is one of the main goals here. They just keep the black man down, use the Negro problem, take his resources from Africa, deny his talent, and deny his God.